Now there's a notation for composite functions. This I think is in section 1.4, which everybody has. Okay? And the rule is, the definition of a composite, we use this little circle to designate composite. Okay? Now usually in your homework I won't be using that little circle. Okay? Because I'll just write it out like this. But you're going to see this in your book and you need to understand that's what this is what that little circle means. Okay? It just means f of g of x. Okay? Now, if f of x equals x squared, forget what g of x is. Whatever g of x is, if f of x equals x squared, then how do you follow the rule to write out what f of g of x is? Well, if you got f of g of x, what's replacing x? There's something in these parentheses here that has replaced the x. What is it? You got f and you got a parenthesis, right? What's in the parentheses here? G of x. What's in the parentheses here?
X.
So what has replaced x?
G of x.
The expression g of x, right? Everybody understand that? Okay? It's a little confusing. So we want to make sure we understand it. Okay? So f of g of x. So g of x has replaced x, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to replace this x with g of x, aren't we? I don't care how weird it looks. That's what we're going to do. Okay? There, I replaced it. Now, just to be careful, just to be sure we know what we're squaring, you know, here we're squaring x, right? Here we need to be squaring g of x. So I'm going to put an extra set of parentheses around here so you don't accidentally think maybe we're squaring the x. Order of operations could get a little ambiguous if I don't put the parentheses there. It could get a little confusing. Less confusing if we know that we're squaring whatever this quantity is, we put the whole blank quantity in parentheses, right? And that's an error that I saw several times on the homework. You had the right stuff down, but you didn't put parentheses around, like minus x minus 9, right? That occurred in your homework. I saw a lot of minus x minus 9 rather than minus parentheses x minus 9. In many cases, in the next step, you did the right thing, and you know that minus 9 became a plus. But you didn't have it written down right with the parentheses, so you're taking a big chance, right? So, you know, those things look pretty good, but we want to make them perfect. Okay. So anyhow, okay, so now, if we know that g of x is 2 to the x, what's this tell us to do?
Square the x.
Well, now, okay, well, g of x is 2 to the x, so we can take 2 to the x and square it. We better have that parentheses there so we don't accidentally do 2 raised to the x squared, right? What's the law of exponents now tell us that the square of 2 to the x is? What law applies here? If you don't know, you really need to be looking at the MCR videos, which I'm not sure I've linked, so I better make myself a note to make sure I do that, okay? I mean, you can go to the MCR page and see what they are. You know, it's right there on your whole assignments page, right? So you can click on the MCR, and we're really working on laws of exponents right now. Now, we don't have anything from yesterday because nobody showed up yesterday, but everybody's been showing up consistently, so there must have been something in the water. Okay, 2 to the x squared, right? Laws of exponents tell us, and I'm not going to explain the laws of exponents anymore. Go to the videos. If you're making mistakes with the laws of exponents, review it. That's 2 to the 2x. A to the b raised to the c means a to the b times c. You raise a power to a power, you get the product of the powers. And that's a law of exponents that you first saw in Algebra 1. And you just haven't been assigned enough problems that don't use the calculator to lock that in. Okay, as a class. Most of you are still somewhat confused about the laws of exponents. You can't be. You just can't be confused about the laws of exponents. Okay? If you're confused about the laws of exponents, and you're not in the MCR class, you need to do that. Okay? And I'll make notes of that. When I see you making errors with laws of exponents, I'll just put MCR in big black Sharpie letters. You'll know what I mean. Okay? Okay. Now, work this one out. What's G circle F? And I'm abusing notation a little bit here, but for my purposes, I'm going to come back and clarify that a little bit. Okay? I really should be saying G circle F is X. But I want to emphasize the circle notation.